Thanks to Ugreen for sponsoring this video. So this is not exactly the video I thought that I was going to make about this camera. This is the DJI Pocket 4. And for context, I typically shoot on my Sony ZV-E1, which is what I'm currently shooting on right now. And I absolutely love it. The image quality you get from it is incredible. But for ages now, I've seen everyone talk about how good the image quality is from the Pocket 3. And so when the Pocket 4 just was recently released, I thought maybe this is finally the time to get one and really test it head to head with my main Sony mirrorless. Because the way some people talked about it, I really wanted to know, could this camera actually replace my mirrorless camera? But if you've seen any of my videos, you know that personally, I'm really only interested in real life, everyday usage of a device. I don't really care so much about specific specs if it doesn't actually affect my day-to-day use of a product. So if you want to see more of those kinds of videos, then make sure you subscribe. But I decided to give myself 30 days with this camera of real world, everyday testing, see what the results were. And what I found wasn't quite what I was expecting. And to be honest, what I was expecting was that this would probably be kind of cool, but it would just end up sitting in a drawer. I've used quite a lot of action cameras over the years, and despite the fact that a lot of them have incredible image quality that has come so far compared to where they used to be, none of them for me have actually made that leap into regular everyday use cameras in the same way that my Sony is. And so to be honest, I actually set up a plan of selling this camera after the testing period because I really didn't think that I was going to end up using it that much. But for me, the litmus test was really if I can use this either alongside my Sony or replace it for certain things, and I can't really tell the difference too much in post, I would be really impressed, and that would be a pretty clear indicator that this could actually replace my main camera. And so the very week that I bought the camera, I went to a creator event and I decided to take this as my main camera. I did have my Sony in my bag as a backup just in case, but I really wanted to challenge myself to shoot as much content as possible on the Pocket 4. And what happened quite surprised me. I actually didn't end up touching my Sony camera at all. I literally shot the entire event on this little Pocket 4, and that was across a huge variety of lighting conditions. So some of the sessions were indoors in a really dim auditorium. Some of the booths and activities were outdoors. And then some of the workshops that I went to were kind of halfway inside tents with a lot of natural indoor lighting. And on the preview screen, everything looked good, which is what gave me the confidence to keep shooting and not pull out my Sony. And that included when I was shooting in the dim auditorium where there was basically no natural light and it was very dark. And on my screen, everything looked pretty decent. Usually on a camera, you can tell if there's a lot of noise and grain. If it's particularly bad, it usually shows up on the screen. Of course, there was a suspicion in my mind that maybe because the screen is so small, it wasn't showing the grain, obviously. And then when I was going to pull it into post, all the grain would just show up and it would be terrible footage. But I decided to trust the screen. I went with it and just ended up finishing the event without even touching my Sony once. Now, the next day, I offloaded all the footage onto my laptop and I was actually really floored, particularly from the shots from inside the auditorium. They were much cleaner than I expected. Now, don't get me wrong, they weren't perfect. There was still grain, especially in the darker areas of the shots. As I kind of expected, all the outdoor shots with a lot of natural light looked great and totally fine, very clear, very sharp. But yeah, those low light indoor shots were much cleaner than I expected, because that was where I really thought that this camera would fall apart. And since I used DaVinci Resolve, I was able to add just a touch of noise reduction, and I thought the shots came out looking great. So that was my first big green tick for this camera. I was very impressed. Now, the other big thing that really struck me using this camera at the creator event was just how small, compact, and portable it was. It was so nice to literally be able to put this in my pocket or in a bag. And then when I saw a shot that I wanted, I could quickly pop it out, switch on the camera, and start filming. When I take my main Sony mirrorless rig to events, I'm basically holding it the entire time. A, because it's quite expensive and I don't want to break it, but B, because it's just a bit bulky to put in bags and then be able to pull out easily and quickly to capture shots on the fly. It does get a bit heavy after a while, whereas this, I can easily just pop in my bag and then whip it out whenever the need actually arises. And that to me was when I really started to understand the appeal of this camera. It almost felt like using a Sony mirrorless camera light, in the sense that it's got very good image quality. So far, I decided it wasn't quite on the level of my mirrorless, but it was also really compact, really inconspicuous, and just easy to use. And I absolutely love that. And not only could I fit the camera in my bag, I could also fit extra accessories that I wouldn't normally be able to take with me just for weight's sake. Like, let me show you, this is the bag that I take to those kinds of events. The Pocket 4 is able to easily fit inside this bag. And then I also have, just in the front pocket, this little Ugreen Find Track. And this is a little tracker device, which gives me a lot of peace of mind, because if I ever put this bag down, I'll get an alert on my phone that I've left it behind. And I can also see where it is using Apple Find My. So I never have to worry about leaving this behind when I'm out and about. Plus, it's got 5 to 7 year battery life, so it's going to last me ages. And it's designed in the style of a little soccer ball, which is kind of cool. So I've got that just in the front pocket. And then inside the main compartment, I've been taking 2 other accessories. The first is this Nexode Pro 65 watt charger from Ugreen. This has literally become my go-to travel charger because look at the size. It's absolutely tiny, super compact. I mainly use it for charging my MacBook, but it covers 3 devices with USB-A and then 2 USB-C ports in the bottom. So this covers my Pocket 4 and any other accessories that I've got. And then last but not least, in my bag, I like to carry around this MagSafe wireless charger. This is the MagFlow Qi 2 power bank. I absolutely love the build quality. It feels incredibly well built and premium. It's got a solid 10,000 milliamp hours with 15 watt wireless charging. And then it's got an inbuilt little 2-way 30 watt USB-C charging cable that doubles as a little carry strap. And this is perfect for me because I can charge my Samsung phone using the USB-C, and then my wife can charge her iPhone using the MagSafe. So these are all super useful accessories when you're out and about filming. If you want to check any of these items out, there's links to them all in the description below, where you can find all the latest deals and discounts on this gear. Okay, so after the creator event, for the next few weeks, I did my best to use this camera as much as possible, which is what I always do with gear that I'm testing. I'll just try and take it out and about and use it in my daily life. And one of the biggest things that I started to notice with this camera was that I was capturing moments that I normally would totally miss. And that's purely because I was taking these places where I just don't normally take my Sony camera. And that is again, just because of the size difference. This is so much easier to carry around. It was really nice. Like, I'm really trying to capture more candid moments throughout my daily life. And this was finally letting me do that. Now, you've probably heard the idea that the camera you have with you beats the camera that you have at home. But honestly, for me, I haven't always really subscribed to that view, because the camera I often have with me just doesn't have image quality that's that good. For example, I personally just still can't quite bring myself to shoot my main A-roll on my smartphone. I know a lot of people do, and there's absolutely no problem with it, but I just really appreciate nicely color graded footage. And I just can't really do that with my phone footage. Whereas the thing with this camera is that the image quality looks so nice, and you can shoot in D-Log 10-bit. I can grade it any way I want. And then I end up with really nicely graded footage, which brings me to the color matching with my Sony camera. So I actually started using this for some unboxing shorts that I was making. Once again, another benefit is that this is really easy to mount as an overhead camera. So I was using it as a B camera and using my Sony as the main A camera. And again, when I took it into post and graded both, I was able to color match them pretty accurately without trying too hard at all. I got them pretty close and I was very happy. I'm sure if I spent more time tweaking the footage, especially from the DJI, I could get them to look basically identical. To me, the Sony still had the edge in terms of how far I could push the dynamic range. But in terms of colors, they were both very similar. And that to me was quite a surprise. I expected there to be more of a fight in terms of getting them to match, especially coming from totally different manufacturers and using different types of log footage. But for me, that was just another huge green tick. So this was about 3 or 4 weeks in, and I started to really think, could I actually replace my Sony with this camera? Considering how portable it is, how easy it is to shoot, how the image quality is really solid and can match my Sony. But I think there's a few things that came up that made me realize I don't think I could replace my Sony with this. And I think, to be honest, the main thing that centers around is actually the lenses. So on the DJI, you've just got the one single fixed lens. Obviously you can do some digital zoom or add some wide angle filters, but that's really it. You've just got the one focal length. Whereas with an actual mirrorless camera, you've got fully interchangeable lenses. I own several lenses and I do change them around from time to time. My main lens is a 16 to 35. And so having that range in focal length is also incredibly useful. But the other thing is, when I went from a regular Sony lens to a G Master lens, the difference was really quite stark to me. I hadn't previously considered how much of a difference a good lens can really make to your overall image quality, but I think a lot of people don't really talk about how big of a difference it really can make. Like for me, a huge part of why I think my Sony footage looks like this is because of the high quality lenses that I use. And I noticed that on this camera, despite the fact that it does have incredible incredible image quality. It's just simply not as sharp or as clear as the footage from my G Master lens. And so for me, that essentially was kind of the answer to my initial question. Can the Pocket 4 replace my Sony ZV-E1? The answer for me is no, it can't replace it. However, the Pocket 4 has genuinely earned a place in my daily content workflow. And that's because of that combination, portability, ease of use, and high image quality. The way I'm thinking about it now is essentially that anytime I can use my main Sony camera, I will. So for example, I'm sitting in my studio right now. I've got the camera on a tripod. It's a very controlled environment. So of course I'm going to use my Sony mirrorless. The same thing goes if I'm shooting any of the B-roll like you've seen in this video, particularly in controlled environments. I'm still always going to opt for the Sony just because it's superior in image quality. The trade-off for that superior image quality is that it's less user-friendly, it's less portable, it's less easy to set up. And so for me, the Pocket 4 comes in those places and locations where I still want to film, but I really don't want to go through the hassle of setting up and using my main camera. And personally, I love that because it means I get more coverage of my everyday life. I get those candid moments, like I said, that I just didn't capture before. And that for me ultimately helps me to tell a sort of more cohesive and clear narrative about my daily life, which I really like. I really valued that. And so I've gotten to the point where I actually don't plan on selling this anytime soon. I'm definitely going to keep using it as kind of my secondary camera. I think it's actually replaced my old Sony a6600, which I was using as my B camera. And yeah, I love this thing. I think it's so cool. It's such a cool device. Now, the big caveat for me is that I'm speaking from the perspective of a professional content creator who really values high production quality. And the reality is a lot of content creators just don't need a high level of production quality. Like even me, I really ultimately probably don't need the level of production quality in my videos that I strive for. And so I would say if you're looking at using the Pocket 4 as your main camera and production quality to a really high level isn't that important to you, but does matter, I think this could actually be a solid main A-roll camera. So just keep that in mind. Now I am in the process of comparing this to the Insta360 Lunar Ultra. If you do want to see the comparison of these two different cameras, make sure you subscribe. If you enjoyed the video, please consider hitting the like button. It really helps out my channel. And let me know in the comments, are you using the Pocket 4 as your main camera, as a secondary camera? Are you not using it at all? I'm really interested to hear your thoughts. And in the meantime, check out this video right here, which YouTube thinks you will really enjoy.